It's almost 1 year now since we made some pretty big changes and left our old lives behind. We sold our house, paid off all our debt, put the little things that we wanted to keep into storage, and we bought a small camper trailer. Once we'd organised all of that, well, we hit the road. And for the first time in our lives, there were no plans, no expectations or commitments. It was just so incredibly liberating. So where are we now? And where to next? Well, I probably need to recap just a little and take you back in time to how it all started and where we actually are today, which is in Port Douglas, ready to hit the road again.
Keep coming. A little bit more. Stop. Probably about there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. We're going from here?
No, so exciting.
This is La Casa del Paino. Jeez, that was a new door, man.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what he's done, but anyway. Here we go. Yeah, well, it's still locked up.
But before we landed here in far north Queensland, our journey started right here in this little rental that we moved into after selling our house. Our downsizing process started when we sold our house. We sold off furniture, we donated items, and we packed away the things that we really wanted to keep. We only kept the basics in the rental. For example, our camping table became our dining table. I even culled a lot of my photography and studio gear. The process ended up being a lot tougher than I expected, but we had one 20-foot container worth of storage, and there was no way we were paying for more. The truth is, the more stuff I got rid of, the better it felt. In hindsight, I kept things that I probably should have got rid of and will inevitably get rid of the moment we open that container up. Downsizing our belongings is definitely part of simplifying our lives. In the last 12 months, we've felt the best when we've had the least. As delayed as she was, our camper did eventually land, and so I started shifting between packing stuff indoors and then getting the camper ready for life on the road. It was a busy time, but it was really exciting. We could finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we just could not wait to hit the road.
Testa dura.
I can't leave the door with our home open. I did not go and look for them, not to use them.
I don't have the back pillow. It's very sad.
You want to get one off the bed? It is nice to have somewhere to sit.
Oh, it's the best.
The last piece of the puzzle was, of course, getting the Ranger ready to be a towing vehicle and to act as our tourer. So in between packing boxes and setting up the camper, we were also squaring away the Ranger for life on the road. Wow, we couldn't believe it. It was actually done. We had left the city. With the state in lockdown and the city of red zone, we had to spend some time in isolation, so we were lucky enough to stay at a friend's house in southern New South Wales before we decided to hit the road and go not too far down the road to Eden.
I've got pegs. I'm going to use them.
You're double pegging.
Double pegging, mate.
Yeah, okay.
I've got them. I'm glad just because I left the Oz tent I kept the pegs, because I'll tell you what, I've used every single one. I reckon tomorrow evening we ring up ambulance, Eden Pizza, and we say, deliver to us, mother.
Pizza night.
Pizza night, yes.
With the state in lockdown, it meant we weren't allowed to tour. National parks were shut, and caravan parks were only open to those that lived on the road. There were only 2 other people staying at our park. We were given our own bathroom and key, and pretty much had full run of the park to ourselves. Now, given it was the winter down south, we were pretty grateful for a powered site and being able to run our heating in Holly to keep us warm. We called this very first stopover our shakedown. With the Ranger build and the completion of our camper delayed, there had been no time to test our entire setup. Now, we were seasoned campers, but living out of such a tiny space was an entirely different proposition, and we were pretty sure we'd be making some changes to our setup. We thought we were pretty lucky to score a beachfront and ocean inlet spot. We had no idea of the weather conditions that were to come. It was definitely a humbling experience, and it made us realise just how vulnerable our home on wheels can be. So we've got to get down from here now.
Yes. I've come down here. I've
You
already
have?
done this. I've gone all the way to the beach.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay. I think
It's not easy, and I wouldn't like it's some of that stuff there. There's quite a bit of that, so you need to.
yeah, I've just got to take my shoes off just to walk that, because coming down through here, it just looks a little bit slippery.
Yeah. This was the tricky part.
Can you reach it there?
Yep.
Okay. You made it. You made it. I'm going to go
down that way.
Yeah, I think that's better for me. I don't think we should move. We'll just go down the road and explore Ben Boyd Bay.
Say that really quickly. Explore Ben Boyd Bay.
A couple of weeks in, and we quickly realised that the afternoon cold winds coming off the beachfront park were starting to take its toll. We moved the Ranger to try and shelter our outdoor kitchen as much as possible, but we realised it was just getting worse each week. By this stage, we had booked in the Ranger for some necessary mods. We were actually lucky to secure the parts and the work in Bega, but we had another 3 to 4 week wait, so we weren't going anywhere. Looks great.
It's getting there.
What's it like? Oh, yummy.
It's a bit chewy, that piece.
do that. Just the manoeuvre to get over.
Hmm? Have to get out.
Okay, maybe not with your foot on my head.
Sorry.
Get your foot off my face.
So much analytic stuff around. Everywhere.
I'm a power user. That's not fair. Half of that is food. You wanted snacks, I delivered. Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do. Okay. Deep bowl. This is not going to work. Just as we started to manage and adapt to the cold ocean winds, the weather forecast some pretty gnarly westerly winds with gusts between 50 and 60 kilometres. We knew the canvas would take a beating. Holly was parked square facing the westerly aspect of the valley, and there was just nowhere else to go for some shelter. And then of course it started raining, and it rained, and it rained, and it kept raining. Do you think the sound will drive us crazy?
What's that?
You think the sound will drive us crazy?
I think it's going to lull me to sleep.
Actually, that's a good point. It rained for days, and we didn't really have a lot of opportunity to go outside. So we stayed indoors and kept warm, but the river kept rising, and the staff from the park came across to warn us of potential flooding of that river and to be ready to move should that river rise any further.
It's just been rainy and windy, which is a great combo.
I think the first few nights I felt cold.
First few nights here, yeah,
It felt cold.
We got a little bit of cold, but I think we got
There were
ourselves
4
a bit of a...
degree nights and 0 nights. And
Yeah, but last night it dropped to 5.
I didn't feel cold at all.
No,
and
neither
we
did
had
I.
both hatches open.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just acclimatising, I don't know.
It's meant to be.
The heat's completely off.
Yeah.
When I woke up this morning because your watch
Yeah, stupid.
woke us up, and then you refused to get up to stop it, at which point I was going to get up and smash it.
Because I thought it was your phone.
I knew it wasn't my phone. My phone doesn't vibrate like that.
See, I'm being filmed, but behind the camera, she's using all these other words, but she's mouthing them. I'm not allowed to say them on film. But she's behind on the other side, and there's all this stuff's going on.
I do not.
But I got to get edited. Apparently, I have to.
You're not allowed to say bad words on
allowed
camera.
to say a bad word.
Yeah, so at 6 when I woke up, I went to turn on the heating. It said 11 degrees. So that's not too bad, I thought.
Balmy for here.
It is.
Eh?
I remember there were the first few nights we woke up, it was 6 degrees in here. I don't know
I reckon
why.
we'll go for a swim today.
I was thinking about that, but the wind would make it horrible.
Yeah, that wasn't serious at all.
I thought you were serious.
Not even.
What about cold water therapy?
Yeah. Let's wait for the warm sun to do the cold water therapy.
Okay.
Sure, we needed to have these boots with us. That's for sure.
Yeah. There was never any doubt that we need some sort of this. I was going to get the gum boots, but these really do the job, don't they?
Yeah. No, these are perfect. They don't need gum boots.
Yeah.
Now, when I feel these rolls and stuff coming up, I start to realise how heavy this setup is.
Yes, of course. See, that's not so bad. We got to stand and move.
That was great.
It was lovely. And get out in the brisk night air.
We're going.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Dear, if we can keep that onto that pole. Let me guess, gaffer tape?
It's going nowhere.
You found a use for that stabilizer. Maybe not the intended use.
There's no value of it up there at all. Someone might argue that, but I'm not going to argue back.
I need the hammer from my peg bag.
So it's 2:30 in the morning. The winds are ferocious, and we've just come outside because this huge gust of wind, we thought the whole canvas was coming down. We literally both jumped out. It's roaring. Oh man. Trying to hold down this wall. I think we may have to leave tomorrow. We can't stay here. This is crazy. We're going to lose the awning. Was it just the guy ropes that came loose?
It's just that it's the peg that it flipped. The peg flipped around.
Yeah, okay.
And therefore this guy rope just came off. That's all.
Okay. How are all the other pegs and the car awning?
The car awning's perfect
Okay.
because the car awning's got nothing that's buffering, right?
Yeah.
It just passes straight through.
Yeah. Look, if you hadn't put these two ropes all inside here, like this internal support,
We would have had a real problem.
that wall's coming down.
What's that?
Like it's a huge wall of canvas that the wind's just hitting. Everything else is holding out okay. I mean, the rest of it's okay.
Everything else is alright at the moment.
I can't believe what this has been through, really. If this wasn't canvas, if that was, you know, a lighter fabric,
Would have been gone.
it would have been gone by now.
Well, this is where it sent the barbecue and all that stuff flying. That's how hard that hit. That was...
Oh, that moved it all back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the barbecue and the wood.
Yeah.
And the... We got to get out of here, babe. I don't know how much longer this is going to be here for like this.
Yeah.
Let's try and get back to bed. It's 2:30 in the morning. So now, and just like that, it's died down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. It's 3 a.m. Let's try and get some sleep.
I've got to grin and bear it at least for the next week.
Do you think? That was pretty bad. Going out there, seeing that wall, I thought, my God, that wall's coming down. We left the south coast as soon as the upgrades to the Ranger were done. With the state still in lockdown, we parked ourselves for another 6 weeks on the outskirts of Canberra. Finally, when state rural lockdown was lifted, we hit the road. We explored northern New South Wales, hitting up all the national parks and just really enjoying life on the road, even if we were limited to New South Wales. We really got to work with our setup and continued to further simplify what we were doing. We dropped the big canvas annex and just stayed with the canvas awning. We learned lots of things about our setup during that time, and we quickly adapted to our small space. In fact, we realised just how simple life can be living in such a small space. We had everything we needed and we were happy. Quite unexpectedly, life threw us a health curveball, and so we had to call it and make the decision to set up a base as a precaution. We waited for state borders to open and literally drove into Queensland at 2 a.m. on day one of open borders. Jeez, she's little, but she's filled up the yard.
What's that?
She's little, but she's filled up the front yard.
Filled it up all right.
Yeah, those ones. There's a couple of dead branches, and we're just trying to push Holly further back so that hopefully we'll avoid those if they fall down.
Tell you what, I mean, it's not too bad.
We have now been in Port Douglas for almost 6 months. We needed to set up a base, and as lovely as Far North Queensland is, we won't be calling it home. This means all our gear remains firmly in storage until we find and buy our forever home. So our plan has been to see out the wet season, and during that time clean up and fix up this little place here in Port Douglas. And now, as we approach almost that 12-month mark since we left the city, we find ourselves once again counting down the days and the weeks until we hit the road. I think we need to fix that one.
Well, Besser block, mate. Everything's bloody solid in this place.
There's a bit of work to be done here.
Slowly, man.
It's certainly been an unexpected journey so far. We're making decisions as we go, and having no debt has definitely given us a level of freedom that we've never had before. World events have, without a doubt, played a part in shaping some of our decisions, like setting up a base. But if anything, the last 12 months has really shown us that this is how we want to live, that we want to really stick to our cutting loose, living life philosophy of spending less, buying time, and just living more slowly. We're not retiring. we're a little young for that, and we're definitely not rich. So we will need to weave work into our plans wherever we go. But we've realised that the more simple and low cost the life we lead, the more choice and freedom we have. So we don't know what's around the corner. For now, we're just excited to hit the road again in 6 weeks' time, but this time no lockdown. So I guess we'll just see where that takes us.